Welcome to Thursday's solo episode. I am finally healthy, although I did wake up at 4 in the morning this morning, which was brutal. And I hate when you wake up and you're like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna close my eyes, I'm gonna fall back asleep, but then you get a tickle in your throat or something. So I had to take out my retainers. Yes, my super sexy retainers. And then I put a Halls in my mouth. And then the Halls, I must have had gunk in my throat, in my chest, like that. So I put a Halls in my mouth, and then that just opened the floodgates for coughing and coughing and coughing, getting all this stuff out of my chest. It's probably a residual sinus issue from being sick. I did not get a sinus infection after being sick, which is hallelujah, wild. I cannot believe that. I still feel not, it's my body wants to have a sinus infection, but I don't have one, knock on wood, so far. So I think I'm in the clear for that, but still definitely have a sinus issue going on. It wants to be an infection. And so I think that was what was all in my chest. TMI, I hope you're not eating. But then at 4 in the morning, my body decided to get rid of all that stuff in my chest. So that was annoying. I think I did eventually fall back asleep, and then my alarm went off at 6:30 and I was like, oh God. So I turned off my alarm, and then my husband walked in my room at 7:15 and was like, can you get Milo dressed? Because he was going to take him to school today and he was going to hop in the shower. So anyways, I got up, did the morning, had a relaxing. It's so, I save almost an hour, literally an hour of my time if my husband takes Milo to school. So I was like, you know what? I had the most bananas day yesterday. I'm recording this on Tuesday. Yesterday obviously was Monday. My first day fully back into work mode. Had to catch up on a week's worth of laying in bed watching Below Deck. So emails, I had to film content, I had to edit content and resubmit it. And I had the most unbelievable recording yesterday. It took place at 5:45 p.m. Eastern time. So my husband picked up Milo from school and then brought him to McDonald's. Then they went to the park, and then they went to Dollarama and they picked out some fun toys, so that I could be home alone recording. You will never believe who the guest is on Tuesday. So stay tuned, set your alarm clocks, because it is wild. So I was preparing for that all day, trying not to lose my shit, trying to calm myself, deep breaths, but also still focus and get work done. So yesterday was wild. And then the interview went so well, so well. I'm pretty sure we're best friends. So proud of myself, just crazy. So I can't wait till you guys know who it is. You're gonna freak your freak. It doesn't even make sense. I have no business talking to this person. But it happened, and it happened very quickly too. We found out about it on Friday. It was confirmed, and then they're like, let's record Monday. I was like, are you shitting me right now? I have a sick child at home. I am just getting over a sickness, but let's do this. Let's prepare. Let's frickin' do it. And it couldn't have went better. It was amazing. So again, if you're not subscribed to the podcast, subscribe, because I think this will be a snowball effect, and we are about to take over the world here at the Mom Room. So subscribe, rate, review, all the things. Set an alarm for Tuesday morning, because you're going to want to listen to that episode. So anyways, yesterday was nuts. So of course, all I wanted to do, the recording ended at 6:45 in the evening. So all I wanted to do, and then I had to FaceTime my mom, I had to FaceTime my friend, I had to decompress after that recording, share with everybody how it went and blah blah blah. And so all I wanted to do, I walk upstairs at like 7:30 and I just wanted to eat and watch Love is Blind and turn off my brain. So of course we do bath time, bedtime routine. Milo is in a mood. Like as soon as I walked upstairs, I could tell he was in a mood. And I'm like, ugh, this isn't looking good for bedtime. All I want to do is chill. So he wanted my husband to bring him into his room after bedtime routine. And I could tell I was downstairs getting food ready for my husband and I could hear like Milo was giving him a hard time. And I was like, no, my God. Like, not today. But that's always the day that it is, you know? So I go upstairs, try and like, you know, help the situation. It doesn't help, obviously. I go back downstairs and then it's like escalating. For a while, I thought it was going to be fine because Milo sounded like happy and like things were going well. And I was like, oh, thank God. But nope. My husband left his room, came downstairs, and then Milo walked downstairs and we were like, listen, Milo, like, I know you don't want to, I'm trying to validate, you know, I know you don't want to go to bed right now, but these are the rules and mommy and daddy still have to eat dinner. And if you don't want to go to bed, that's fine, but you have to stay in your room now. And now he's starting to ask the question, like, why can grown-ups stay up later and I have to go to bed? Like, I want to stay downstairs. And I'm like, oh, like, I don't know. That's just the way it is. Like, stop asking these questions. Like he asked, like, why do I have to go to school? I'm like, oh my God, because that's how it works. Oh, anyways, finally, we bring him back upstairs and he is not getting in his bed. He's like on the floor, just like grunting and making angry noises. And I told my husband just to go downstairs and eat. And so I was, again, trying to validate and say the right things. And I said, why are you so excited tonight? Because he was acting like amped up. And he was like, I'm not excited. But he wasn't really talking much to me. And then I said, why you seem angry? Like, it's okay that you feel angry. And I said angry like a couple times in that way. Like, it's like, you seem angry. Like, it's okay to feel angry. And then he just started crying. And I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad. And I swear when he's in these moods, he has to get out his emotions. So it's like, you can put it off for as long as you want, like trying to distract him and, you know, but sometimes it's almost better to just acknowledge it and be like, oh, you seem very upset right now, very angry. Like, it's okay to have those feelings. And then he just like bursts out crying, and he has these storage things from IKEA in his room. And one of the little cubby holes was empty because he took the bin out. And so he was like sitting in the little cubby hole of the IKEA storage container thing, just like crying. And I'm like, okay, so do you remember when Ariana and I were talking about this kind of situation where it's like, if I go near him and try and connect or even talk to him, it's just going to escalate and he's going to like scream at me and kick me and like throw toys at me. So all I did was I sat on the floor of his bedroom and I just sat there. And he was crying. He like kept looking over at me and I was like, like just sitting there, like, you know, I'm here. I'm calm. I'm here. And then I crawled over to, he has this toy that is a little racetrack with Mario and Luigi cars on it. And you can press buttons and like switches and stuff to make the cars go around the track. It's actually super cute. I'll link it if it's on Amazon. I don't even remember where it's from. So I just crawled over to that because he loves that toy right now. And I started playing with it by myself. I just like put Luigi on the track and I was making him go around the track. And slowly, like, his crying stopped. He crawled over, he grabbed Mario, he put Mario on the track, and he started playing with me. So we did that for a few minutes, and then I sat up and I was like, hey, like, can mommy have a hug? Or like, gave him a hug. And, a couple minutes later, I was like, we'll play this for another minute or so. And then how about we pick out a book and mommy's going to lay down with you and I'll rub your back. And he was totally fine with that. I got up onto his bed. He picked out a Paw Patrol book, brought it into bed. And then after a few more minutes, I said, okay, mommy's going to go lay down now too. Okay. 'Cause it's mommy's bedtime too. And he was like, okay. And I left, and that was that. So gold star for me. It doesn't always happen that way. It's just like the time of my cycle right now where I have a lot of patience and I'm trying to be better at like staying calm and, handling things in a different way, because I hate when I get worked up, because then it ruins my evening. Like if I can just make it through this temporary, difficult moment, I know it's eventually going to end, but in the moment it can feel like, holy shit, like he's not going to bed tonight ever. He's never going to bed again. Like, and that's what it feels like. It's like daunting, and all you want to do is go relax. So I've been trying to be better in those situations, and yesterday it paid off, and it worked out. A few nights ago, the same kind of thing was happening, and I heard how my husband was reacting upstairs, and I lost my damn mind. I like yelled from downstairs, and then I was like, okay, like that's not good, because a few times now I have said something with Milo there, and I know that's not right, but it's like I'm much more aware of it now, but a few times I have done that, and I need to not do that anymore. Like, say it. It's because, like, when you're in the moment, you want to say it so that your partner knows exactly what you're talking about. It's like, see, it just happened. Like, try and do it this way instead or whatever. So, anywho, I lost my mind. My husband came downstairs, and I snapped at him. I still need to apologize for that. Like the next morning, everything was fine, but I was not nice in that moment. And like, I went upstairs, just like read my Kindle, went to bed. So upon reflecting of that moment, I was like, you know what? I'm tomorrow going to go buy Dr. Becky's book. So I went and bought Good Inside by Dr. Becky. And my idea was that my husband and I can go through chapter by chapter and just talk about the different strategies that she recommends. Go through scenarios that we deal with Milo, and like just go through it together so that we're on the same page and we both have these tools to deal with these situations. So I have not presented my husband with this idea yet, but what I would like us to do is, 1 week we work on one chapter of Dr. Becky's book, and then that solo episode will be us talking about that chapter and how the tools like show up, like how we can use them in our own lives, like situations that we find ourselves in, what we might struggle with, things that we learned from the chapter that we want to start implementing. Maybe there's something that she recommends where we're like, that would never work for us, or like we tried that and this is what happened. Just to be like totally honest, parenting, talking about Dr. Becky's book. So I would love for us to do that. I'm sure he'll be on board. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And I think it would be so valuable, and I can't wait. I thought that was such a good idea. So that's coming soon. I wanted to talk about the TikTok that I posted. I duetted the TikTok, and it has 8.4 million views on Instagram. It exploded because it is so what's the word I'm looking for? It's such a simple video. And it's the one where, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to the podcast page or my page, and there's like a side by side of a dad in all these different scenarios with his son. And in one scenario, he's looking at his phone. And in the other scenario, he's fully engaged and interacting with his son. And it's like them just, walking down the stairs, and he's holding his son. One, he's like checking his phone. The other one, he's like laughing and talking to his son. The next one is the TV's on and the son picks up a sword and he's like playing by himself, and the dad just plops down on the couch and like starts looking at his phone. The other one, he's like grabs his own sword and starts playing with his son. Or he's outside riding a bike in the driveway. In one, the dad is like engaging, interacting with him, riding the bike. And then in the other one, he's sitting in a chair, just looking at his phone. It is so powerful, that video. And so many people, there's so many comments on that video. And so many people are triggered by that video. Because that, like, a lot of the comments that I have seen, it's like you wouldn't be writing that if this video didn't like slap you in the face. You are triggered. Some people are like, the same goes for moms. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Just because it's a dad in the video, this is about all parents. Like, it's not, it's not singling out dads. Like, it's about everybody. It's a parenting video. The guy that made the content happens to be a dad. So it's nuts. And then a lot of people are like, yeah, but the thing is, sometimes I'm looking at my phone, but I'm ordering us groceries. I'm like paying bills. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And it's like, the point of the video is not to say that you can never be on your phone in the presence of your child. That's not the point of the video. Yes, we have these devices nowadays that are so helpful. Like, we can get so many things done just from the comfort of our own home. Like being in the presence of our kids, we can get groceries done. We can pay bills. We can answer work emails, which it is amazing, but also there is a downside to that. And it comes down to balancing when you have your phone and when you don't. Like, you need to set boundaries. Otherwise, it's crazy. Like, nowadays, my husband and I could be like, we're sitting there with Milo in the living room, and it's like, oh, like they put that house up for sale down the street. And instantly, like, my husband picks up his phone to like go look at the listing to see what it looks like inside, because we're creepers like that. And it's like, you can instantly just pick up your phone and completely divert your attention to something else. Like, we see a commercial for Jurassic World. They're, going to Hamilton in the next, maybe it's this weekend or last weekend, I don't know. Anyways, and it's like, you can just pick up your phone and go and look for a ticket. So it's like never ending. So when are you going to put the phone down for an extended period of time and give yourself windows of time where then you can do these things? Maybe have a piece of paper out and you're like, oh, okay, I wanted to look up the listing for the house down the road. I wanted to check in to see if they have any Jurassic World tickets. Write a list, and then after your kid goes to bed, pull that out and then do your stuff. It's like phones are incredible, but not if you're not setting boundaries around the phones. And so that's all this video was pointing out. It's not to say that you can never be on your phone. And I also like the point of letting your child know when you're going to be using your phone for a certain amount of time. Like, listen, mommy's just going to go sit over here. I'm going to be on my phone. I have to get a little bit of work done, but I'll be back in 5 minutes, okay? Go write your email, put your phone down, and then go back to what you were doing. As opposed to just like this constant picking up the phone, putting it down, picking it back up, putting it down. You're in the middle of playing a game with your kid and you're like, oh, like, I forgot I was supposed to text my mom, something about whatever. Pick it up, like text your mom quickly, like have boundaries around the phone. And we are trying to be so much better about this and intentional with when we're going to use the phone, because I don't want to. It's wild to me that Milo has grown up just knowing that adults are like attached to these little screens. That blows my mind. Like, for some reason, if he's playing in the living room and I'm like reading a physical book, that's not as like, because he knows it's like, oh, mommy is reading a book, as opposed to like mom's just staring at her phone. Do you know what I mean? It's so bizarre. It's like, obviously I'm not 24/7 engaged with Milo. Like, sometimes I'm in the kitchen going through the cupboards and the fridge to make a grocery list. But it's like he sees that I am doing an actual activity, so I am not able to play Uno or race the Mario cars, whatever. But if you're sitting there looking at your phone, it's a different vibe. It's like mom would rather stare at her phone than come play with me or something. And the worst is when they are actually trying to engage with you and you're like ignoring them. Ugh. Anyways, I have been thinking about this so much since I saw that TikTok, and I got so many messages of people being like, that video has changed my life. And I was like, me too. I have always tried to be very aware of when my phone was out. And you will notice that after school hours, there will be much less stories from me. The stories is something that's just going to have to like suffer a little bit, like when it's the weekend or when it's the evenings, because I do not want to have my phone. And I feel like for you to be someone that is constantly storying, you have your phone right there. And that's what's on the top of your mind is like, oh, I want to put this on stories. So not going to happen. Like, I am going to be a different person when it comes to our family life and my phone. So that's that on that. I wanted to give a little bit of a book club update. I finished Lessons in Chemistry. We are meeting for our little book club meeting on October 4th. So you can expect some content, some reviews, some fun stuff coming soon about Lessons in Chemistry. The next book will be announced when the 6 weeks is up from, or maybe we'll announce it on October 4th. We'll see. We might give you guys some extra time to read in case you're already done Lessons in Chemistry. Brittany picked the next book. It's really good. I read it very quickly because I was sick in bed. I flew through that, and then I started reading the last one, which is also a Brittany recommendation. She read it in like 3 days. It's taking me a little bit longer. I flew through the first half, and then something happens around the halfway mark of the book that made me a little bit less interested in it. So I don't want to spoil it or give it away, but it is a very good book. I think I'm like 75% done that one, and then I'll probably be able to read like a couple more before we even get to our third book club book. It's wild. I am such a reader right now. I love it. I started watching Love is Blind. I'm obsessed with this show because everybody is so perfect in the pods. They say the right things. They're super vulnerable. They're open. They're like, it's wild. And then as soon as they get out of the pods, it's like red flag city. And you just see right away how people turn. It's nuts. So I love that. I love it, love it, love it so much. I think I'm on episode 3, so I'm hoping to fly through that season fairly quickly. And then another thing, the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce thing. My friend told me that there's a documentary on Amazon about the Kelces, like his family. And I didn't realize that the guy that he does his podcast with is his brother, and his brother plays in the NFL too. Like, what? So I really want to watch that documentary. My friend said their family is so cute and sweet. So we're all just wanting to learn more about this Travis fella. And I really hope, like, I want them to be a couple. I don't know why. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Well, I'm very excited for Friday because I'm going to see Giggly Squad live with my friend Nadine. We're going to have dinner before. So exciting. After being in the house for a week and a half, not even just in the house, in my room, in my bed, like a loser. Very excited to go do that. So that's it for today, guys. I am so excited for you guys to hear the episode on Tuesday. You're going to freak your freak, okay? If you haven't already, please rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel because you can watch clips. You can watch all the full video versions of the episodes, which is exciting. And yeah, I'm trying to be a YouTuber, you know? That's one of my goals is to be a YouTuber. So thank you guys so much for listening. And I hope your child sleeps tonight and doesn't put up a fuss and throw a fit. Yes, Godspeed to all the parents out there.